Here we go. Welcome back to the channel. Took a little break in the process of, I don't know, life, just things happening. Maybe I'll go into it in the future, but nothing that affects this channel. I just personally needed a tiny little refresh and really wanted to give the energy that I wanted, the maximum amount of energy I wanted to give for these videos. So just needed a little break. I've been doing about 2 a month, I think, all year. Just about that. I was originally only going to do one a month, doing 2 videos a month, and working and trying to have a social life just has been really hard. So it took like 2 or 3 weeks off, but we're back. Today we're going to do a tier list, just do a really nice and easy video. Also, this is just something I've been wanting to do since I got back. Universal Orlando tier list. So before I left for my trip in June, I went to Orlando for about 6 days. I did a Disney World tier list and then I updated it a few days later after I came back. If you go watch the video, I very clearly do a bunch of rides before I leave, and then I do a bunch of rides. I had 4 rides after I came back. So, I'm really excited to do this. We're doing Universal. I already did the Disney stuff, like I said. So it's nice to be able to do like both sides of kind of the big two theme park companies in the world. And I'm really excited for this. I had a really great time at Universal. I actually went there first. I feel like a lot of people reserve when they go on their Disney trips, they go to Universal last. And I actually did it first, just because of the days that I picked for my 2 tickets and the deals they had going on and everything. And also, I have been to Universal before. I hadn't been for like 6 years. I had been to Disney way more recently in 2019 and then a day in 2023. So and I also did Disneyland in 2022. So I was a little bit more excited to go to Universal this time around just because I've been there twice before this. I went in 2008. We just went to Florida, Universal Florida proper, and then 2018 we did both parks, Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios proper. We were supposed to go to Volcano Bay, but we actually went during like the 1 week a year that Florida is super cold. We went for New Year's that year. If you go back in New Year's 2018, like Florida was just really cold. Like it was like 40s or 50s, I think I want to say. And even if it was like anywhere near 50s or 60s, like we were not prepared. We had our beach gear and everything. So we were not ready for even hoodie weather, let alone any sort of winter weather in Florida. So needless to say, I was happy to kind of get a redo on that. And also they opened up a couple of new rides I haven't been on and things that I was really excited about and to go do. And I love the Harry Potter stuff, obviously, and the Jurassic World stuff's great. Jurassic Park is great. So really excited to really happy to have gone back. And also, this is the last year people are going to get to go without having Epic Universe open, which is kind of cool. Like it's kind of, we know that there's this big theme park coming. We're all excited for it, obviously. If you're a theme park fan, there's no chance that you don't know about Epic Universe. And to get to go in the summer before was kind of exciting just because they were building the preview center and obviously people were talking about it. And it's kind of that period, like I'm an older sibling, it's like this weird period where it's before your brother is born. So it's like you're like it's life is never going to be the same again. Like this is the only time Universal is only going to have 2 theme parks plus the water park. But now they're going to have 3, right? And I know they call Volcano Bay a theme park, even though it's a water park. So this is the last time they're only going to have 3 parks instead of 4. And obviously, Epic Universe looks amazing. So it was pretty cool to go. Crowds were pretty light. I think people are staving off for next year too. So I got to go on a lot. Over my 6 days, Universal and Disney combined, I went on 72 rides. So that's a pretty good volume, I think. And I also went by myself, so I was able to utilize the single rider queues. I didn't pay for any fast passes or anything or express passes. So the only thing I paid for was the ticket and then obviously like my food and stuff. But regarding rides and everything, I only paid the opening or excuse me, the general admission price, whatever it was. And I had deals and stuff too. But yeah, with that said, I want to get right into our tier list.
Before we get into that, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share with your friends. Any little bit helps.
So kind of similar setup to the last tier list I did for Disney. So basically, we're going to start with would wait any amount. So this is your A tier, basic or S tier, excuse me. These are the best rides you've ever been on in your life, and that you would wait any amount to go on to it. A 60, 90-minute wait, that's your A tier. So really great rides, but maybe you've done it before, or it's not as re-rideable or something, or you just don't think it's worth like a 2-hour wait. 45 to 60-minute wait. 30 to 45 minute wait, 25 minutes or less wait. So for me, there's a lot of rides that fit into this category. So and wait times too. So like 15 minutes, 10 minutes. A lot of times like 25 minutes is the longest that a ride like this will get. So you're talking about like you're living with the land over at Epcot, right? Where you're probably going to see it mostly at 5. But if it's a busy day and it's at 25 minutes, maybe you'll think about it. Never Need a Ride Again. This is a ride I've been on, but I just don't want to do again because it made me sick or I didn't like it or whatever happened. Haven't been on, but possibly might go on. Ride I've not been on, but maybe if the line is short or something next time I go, I'll end up doing it. And then haven't been on, won't go on. Just rides I have no interest in doing. These are some of your more intense roller coasters, things like that. Yeah, so with that said, let's get started. Transformers, the ride, 3D. This is a hard one because I don't think it's terrible, but the better ride, the better version of it is literally in the other park. And most people park hop, so I would rather just wait in line for the other version. Although this one's fun, and you normally don't get that long of a wait. A lot of this one's at Universal Florida proper, so a lot of those rides tend to get, unless it's the Harry Potter stuff, like nothing tends to be over 30 minutes. And I think honestly, for me, because this ride makes me, for whatever reason, I think it's just the design of the Transformers in general. I know a lot of people have an issue with those designs because they're just so much, right? I think unfortunately, the Transformers ride 3D, I'm going to do 25 minutes or less, and I think I ended up waiting like 15 minutes possibly with ride time, I think, when I was in line for it. And that's a perfect amount of time for me. Not a bad ride. I think it just goes on for so long, and there's not as much ingenuity as there is with its clone, which we'll talk about later on. It's just one of those things where I don't see myself waiting 25 minutes or more, especially if I have park hopper. If Transformers is 25 minutes, it's probably a busy day. And there's other stuff that I would rather wait for 25 minutes or less. Like this High in the Sky trolley. I think that ride is perfect for a 25-minute or less wait. It's kind of Universal's people mover. It's only, I mean, people mover is only in Tomorrowland, but this one's in the Seuss Landing area. And it's pretty cool. It's cool to get the top-down looks at the whole land and get to go in and out of these buildings. Something that I really enjoyed this last time when I went was getting like higher aerial views at like the different rides in the skyline. So getting to look over the lagoon and seeing Velocicoaster, getting to look to your left and you see the whole coaster. That was really fun. I really enjoyed that, especially, I'm 23 now, so the Dr. Seuss stuff is cool and I love it, and I obviously have like a affinity for it, but the rhyming like happy-go-lucky kind of attitude is not necessarily what I'm looking for. So anyways, it's a fun ride, and don't get me wrong, like I will go on it if the line is short, but don't really need to go on it if it's longer than 25 minutes. Although I did wait a long time for it, but I think that was only because they were running one side of the train. And I also had the only time that anybody's ever asked me if I'm comfortable, because I couldn't really fit into the seat. I don't think I'm 6'1", I'm tall, and I'm not super, I don't think I'm super wide or anything. My legs are just really big, and like the restraint, which is just a lap bar, couldn't get over my fat knees. So that was a little embarrassing, and I was by myself too, so I just looked extra sad. Spider-Man is an S tier ride, and I will wait any amount of time for that. Spider-Man is just incredible. That ride basically reinvented the dark ride and reinvented the dark thrill ride, basically. Super ahead of its time, really innovative, and really set up this super hyper theming kind of rides and lands that we have now. And it's funny because the guy who worked on it, Scott Trowbridge, ended up working, I think, on Harry Potter and Star Wars, Galaxy's Edge. So he's really reinvented kind of the theme park game. Islands of Adventure in general did, but he especially, because he was the main architect, leader behind this ride. So pretty cool. And then Hagrid's would wait any amount. Hagrid's is very unique and very complex. It's actually why it goes down a lot. And you usually see like a 2-hour wait anyways for it. It's a popular ride, but the wait's actually gonna be way longer than whatever they post, just because when I went, I was in line for like both days that I was at Universal, and both days like it broke down for like 30+ minutes. And it was actually moving pretty well. The line was moving pretty well, and then all of a sudden it was just break down. So it's worth the wait. Like it is a long ride. It has a lot of surprises, a lot of animatronics. It's super fun. It's really thrilling. It looks thrilling from the outside, but you're really not prepared for how thrilling it is because it is a family coaster basically. Just wish that it was a little bit more reliable, but even with the unreliability, it is super fun. Really well done and makes good use of the Dragon Challenge area, which is nice because that was a big area and just having two kind of not really themed roller coasters was not the move, even though it was obviously a classic attraction from opening day. Carousel haven't been on, won't go on. Carousel, it's fine, it's cute. Maybe if I have kids, they'll go on it, but for now, I don't need to go on it. Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket, never need to ride again. This ride, especially recently, has been getting a reputation for being like super, super hard on your body and just being super like all over the place. I went on it once, it was cool, but even then in 2017, 2018 was a lot less rougher. I didn't enjoy it very much. I think it's time for a new ride in that area. Bring back Twister, maybe. I don't know. One fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish. I would wait 25 minutes or less for that, probably around 15. It's a cute ride, and it's basically their Dumbo, and it's cool because you can. I think you can maybe doing this on Dumbo. I haven't really been on Dumbo, but I think you can go up and down, and I think there's something in there about like if you listen to the directions in the song, there's like a song that plays, you don't get wet, which is kind of fun. So there's like a meta game into it. It is for kids, and I'm 23, almost 24. I don't know. Again, it's cute, and I would just 5 minute wait. I'm not gonna be an adult just waiting there myself. Storm Forest haven't been on, won't go on. I don't like teacups and I don't want to throw up. Fast and Furious Supercharged haven't been on, won't go on. How funny would it have been if I put it up into the S tier? That would have been awesome. I've heard nothing but bad things about this ride. I remember even Drew Gooden making fun of it in his Vin Diesel video from way back, probably like 2017, 18 when the ride opened. It's just a tram ride. Like they just took like the segment from the Hollywood tour and like made it into a ride, and it just doesn't feel Fast and Furious at all. If they had built a roller coaster, that would have been awesome, or some sort of like test track ride. But about the worst theme park attraction you could do for Fast and Furious is what they did, and they did it. And I'm not a Fast and Furious fan, but I think it would have translated well to theme parks if they had given it any more thought than they did. Despicable Me, I would probably 25 minutes or less. I mean, it's cute. I like the theming before the ride. It's cool to go through the house and everything, but I don't know. It's the Jimmy Neutron ride. It's a simulator where you just sit there and things move and you're all in the same room. It's not as nearly innovative or as fun as a Star Tours. Even like the Simpsons ride's kind of cool because you go up and it doesn't really like you're in front of this whole screen and it doesn't really feel like there's other people around you, and then you look and like, oh wow, there are people watching the screen. I don't need to wait more than 15 minutes for it. It's one of those things where unless I absolutely want to complete things, I'm not going to wait very long for it. Simpsons ride, even though I just talked nicely about it, I never need to ride that one again. The last time I went on it, it made me sick, and I've been reading the subreddit, and apparently it's been making people sick as well, even more. And also, they apparently might be getting rid of it soon. I think the contract with Disney is up relatively soon. 2028, I think, is the year, because they didn't sign all of the rights away in perpetuity like they did with Marvel. So I think that ride's on its last legs, which hopefully we get a Pokemon ride in there, and it's not just the screen, not just a giant screen. It's actually something cool. Fearfall, haven't been on, won't go on. No interest. I talked in the past about the over-the-shoulder restraints. I'm still not a fan of those. I get really claustrophobic, and I just get afraid of like stopping and just having to sit there for like 30 minutes, an hour. And I know it's supposed to keep you safe, but I would rather just not even be in that situation where I'm going to get stopped, especially because I have such a hyperventilation issue. I start to freak out and get really bad anxiety, which I hopefully someday will work, out of my system, but just don't need to do that. And that ride it doesn't look that fun. It looks like it's going to make me sick. ET, this might be controversial, but I am going to put it at 45 to 60. I wanted to put in the S tier, but I think anything over an hour is kind of a lot for that ride. It is one of the best rides ever. I'm so happy that they seem very willing to keep it, especially with all of the different changes. They just changed the whole kids zone in DreamWorks Land and kept ET, and they even repainted it. And I think they've redone some of the effects in the last few years. But it is one of my favorite rides. But it is just a dark ride. It is Universal's Peter Pan's Flight. I think it's better. But it is just one of those things where it's not super thrilling, and so there's not as much rewritability. Like I only need to go on it like once, maybe twice, depending on the wait when I'm there. But I still I still look forward to, hearing my name said aloud and going through the forest and the smell of the forest and everything. It is very, very, very classic. I've been on it 25 minutes or less. It's a fun little roller coaster, but it's nothing to write home about. The Mummy, 60, 90 minutes, I would wait. That's also one of my favorite rides, but I just don't think it's worth the 2 hours because it's a little short. It's indoors. It's older. It's over 20 years old. And I also, too, there's a hack. Most of the Universal rides have single rider. And so, like, I just do that and I get on there. Like, I went on the Mummy like 3 times in like 5 minutes because it was a short wait as is. And then I was just doing single rider. So I just do that anyways. But if I had to wait in a line, 90 minutes is as long as I would wait for that. Forbidden Journey, never need to ride again. Over the shoulder restraints make me sick and nervous, like I said. And that one, especially, like with the Koopa arms, like you're going all around like this and you're just getting thrown about. So it is really easy to get sick on there. And I haven't gotten super sick, but I feel like if I went on it again, yeah, I probably would throw up. Velocicoaster is S tier. Best roller coaster I've ever been on. That's all I can really say about it. You have to go on it. It is insane in a way that is so fun and so refreshing, just unlike any roller coaster I've ever been on. I think this is Ripsaw Falls. I haven't been on, but I might possibly go on. So my first time at Islands of Adventure was 2018 when it was super cold, so all the water rides were closed. And then over the summer it was super hot, so they all had like a 2 hour plus wait. Would wait if it was like an hour. I haven't been on it, so I can't really talk about the quality, but I would go on it if it was like an hour. But even with two hours, I was like, I'd rather just go into an AC, room or something and just do that, and then maybe possibly get in a line for something else. That's a little bit shorter of a wait. Jimmy Fallon, never need to ride again. Really boring. The best part is the line because it feels like you're at Rockefeller Plaza or 30 Rock. You just sit there, you sit on a wooden seat and just get rocked around. It's okay. Jurassic Park River Adventure is 30 to 45 minutes, which might seem low, but that ride is in sore need of an update. You can just tell that things aren't working right. There are dinosaurs that aren't working at all, or they just look really broken. So until they fix that, it's gonna be 30 to 45 minutes. It's still fun to go on. I think it was like a 5 minute wait when I went and did it, which is crazy because it was a hot day in June, but it was near the end of the night. So I don't know if it was just attendance is just lowered, or if it was just way too hot that nobody even came. If you were a pass holder or whatever. It's fun. The drop is still really fun, and it does a really good job of building suspense. But too many things are just broken on it where I can't really give it a higher recommendation. I do think it's still a good ride, and the bones are there, but sorry, man, just fix yourself. The Twirl and Hurl won't go on. Do not like getting sick at a theme park, and sometimes they're just rides you avoid. That's one of those ones where they just spin you around like this. You're floating a little bit, but it just spins you, and I don't need it. It also just takes up way too much space. Like it's an eyesore, and it takes up a lot of walking space. Shrek 4D, which is now we're gonna just call it the minion thing, whatever the minion shooting thing. I'll look it up later and post it right here. It's fine. If you're looking for something to do and it's like a 5 minute wait, go ahead and do it, but it's nothing special. Gringotts, 45 to 60. This is another ride that I tend to do single rider for because you can get on so quick. The one time I did do the line, it was really cool because you get to, you go through the elevator and I think they take your picture. So somewhere on the Universal server, there's a picture of me and my family from when I was 17 and my brother was like 14 years old. We don't really know what we're doing because we didn't realize we were gonna have a picture taken and we're all like wearing sweatpants and stuff. For the Gringotts ride, like I think the first drop, like the beginning is the best part, and then it kind of it's fine from that point on, but you're really just on a roller coaster watching screens. I know it's probably only like a 4 foot drop or whatever, but that drop in the beginning to start things off is super fun and just a great way to start. But then yeah, it just kind of devolves into just watching screens. It's still really cool to be in Gringotts, and they do a good job with like the sets and like spinning you around to look at that stuff. If you want to talk about a spinning coaster that's actually really fun and like really thrilling, Cosmic Rewind probably has a beat. Men in Black, 25 minutes or less probably, just because that's another single rider line and that's also on its way out, but it's fun. It does spin you around in a way that is kind of sickening. But it still relatively is a fun ride to do. It's always good to like have some competition at these theme parks, like Midway Mania and stuff. So, and it does a good job too of like recreating like vibes of the shooting scene from the movie when they're practicing, and then turning it from the Men in Black training to like real aliens and stuff. So it does a good job of doing that. I'm making something like it's literally one of those things where it's like we beg, for certain rides to be made out of our favorite scenes, and they actually did that with this ride. The bilge wrapped barges I haven't been on, but possibly might go on. Just another thing. Line's usually really long, or it's been too cold. This is the Lost Continent. Haven't been on. Won't go on. Can't go on. It's closed. They're probably turning it into Zelda. Pteranodon Flyers. Haven't been on. Possibly might go on. These are one of those rides that's really hard to go on because you need like a small child, and I haven't been a small child for like 15 years. I was like 6'1" when I was 12, so it's been very hard to go on. I don't have a kid. I'm 23, almost 24. When I do have a kid, or if there's, oh God, not if there's a kid that wants to go on with me. That's weird. But no, if when I have a kid, I'll go on it. It looks very fun, but it just sucks because you can only go on it with a small child. Skull Island. I don't know. I'm in between 30 to 45 and just 25 minutes, and I'll probably do 30 to 45. This still gets really long waits just because it looks so cool, but it's just another tram tour thing. The exterior is awesome. Even though I don't think they have the trams, you want to call it that, the ride vehicle, I don't think they have it go through the gates anymore, which sucks. I think they took away the 3D, which is kind of against the whole point of it, I guess. And also, like, it was like footage that was shot for 3D, so it just gives this uncanny valley effect, even though I'm not a 3D person. Now, the animatronic at the end is really awesome, even though I think it's a little overrated just because your whole story is over and then you just go by and he looks at you, and like on confrontation he would actually like take your tram and like shake it up and down, and you just smell bananas on this. It's still really impressive, but just not what it used to be. Confrontation animatronic, here's something special. Cat in the Hat. I honestly never need to ride this one again. I didn't really enjoy it. It's kind of just a lot of shit thrown at you. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff thrown at you, and the effects don't work, and like the CGI Cat in the Hat is kind of scary, and I don't know. It's not anything. I know like people love it. I just don't need to go on it. Not because I'm a coward. It doesn't sit right in my stomach. The Hulk. Never need to ride this one again. I realize a lot of these. I love Universal. Don't get me wrong. Realize a lot of these rides. I've said I feel like there's a lot of rides on here that I would never want to ride again, or I haven't been on, I guess. The good is so good at this park, but the Hulk, that is a concussion waiting to happen. It's also an over-the-shoulder restraint, so it's not something that I especially enjoy. Being strapped in and feeling like a crazy person. No offense. It's fun. It's fun the first time, but even then, I kind of just felt sick after it, just because you are going. It is not a smooth coaster, and I think the thing with the restraints, because I don't know if I mentioned this with Velocicoaster. Velocicoaster is a lap bar, so you have a lot of air time. And I think with the restraints, when it's over the shoulder, that actually causes more ricketiness and like more roughness. So I don't know if you can even make a ride like Hulk do that, just because it was built to be an over the shoulder restraint. So I don't know if like that needs to be taken into effect or into consideration. But if they had a lap bar, it'd be like awesome, I think. If they could, I don't know, retract or something, even though they just retracted. Yeah, I mean, it's fun. I don't need to go on it again until it's a little bit less rough, which sucks because it always looks super fun, but I just don't like the roughness. I remember getting off and just feeling kind of sick after, like concussion sick, and I just don't need to do that. I would say the 30, I don't know. For Hogwarts Express, I realize I'm also putting a lot of rides at 25 minutes, but I think that's more of an issue just with Universal Florida proper than it is with islands. With Hogwarts Express, the idea is nice, and it's really cool that the parks are so close that you can have that, because you couldn't have that at Disney, right? Like if you had Harry Potter in two separate parks, people would have to take the monorail, or people would have to take like, oh, my hair looks fucked up now. People would have to take like the buses or something, which, getting to go on the Hogwarts Express, and it's like another ride, and you get to kind of, you're just moving between like the parking lot, I think, or like kind of like the more officey area, backstage areas. You don't know it, right? Like, because you're in an enclosed room, you're on the Hogwarts Express, which is really well done, and then you're watching, the screen, show the story and everything. It's really cool. Like you get to see, it's like you're on, in the country area or whatever, and then on the left you're seeing all this stuff, like cars pass by you, and the characters pass by you. On the right, like people are going through the car that you're in. It's really cool. It's just one of those things where it's like if you were using it to get to the other park, it's kind of worthless if it's over like 25 minutes, just because it is such a shorter walk to get to the other park. Like it's like maybe 15 minutes if you were to like leave from the back. Let's say you're at the back of Islands of Adventure, which is Hogsmeade. I think getting to the front and then walking over to Diagon Alley would probably be a shorter wait than what the Hogwarts Express usually, is, what their wait time is. Like it's usually a shorter walk to get over there than waiting for the Hogwarts Express, which is really, it sucks. But they can only, I think, run like one train at a time, just because of the way that it's one of those ones where it like goes back and forth. So I think they can only have one car out there, and it does pack a lot of people in. But yeah, it's just sometimes it's just a better walk, shorter walk to get to the other park. But yeah, so this is my tier list for Universal. I love Universal. I had a great time. I think Universal Florida has a lot of work to do, especially. I think Islands of Adventure is a top tier park, even if I haven't been on all of their water rides and stuff like that. I think Universal Florida is in desperate need of a makeover. There's a lot of rides there, especially except for the Harry Potter stuff. I think most of those rides are on their way out. And I think that's why you see such short waits, is because people aren't really spending that much time over there. I really only need to go on ET, Mummy, and Gringotts when I'm at Universal at the other park, and then I'm spending the rest of the day in Islands of Adventure. So it's kind of the redheaded stepchild right now, especially with Epic Universe. I think the difference in quality is going to be stark between Islands and Epic, and then Universal Florida proper. Still have a soft spot for it in my heart, because my first trip to Orlando, we did a day at Universal Florida, and it was awesome. And it took 10 years to go back again, and then 6 years to go back again. So I have gone to these parks and been on these rides a lot less, so they're still somewhat new to me and somewhat of a treat, because I don't get to do it all the time. I mean, they're all a treat. Getting to go to Florida is just so fun. I look forward to it all the time. I'm a Disney adult, theme park adult, but Universal Florida especially needs some help. So hopefully after Epic is open, maybe they start to put some resources back into that park. And I'm excited to do this. I think I'll probably do this again. I'm planning on going to Epic Universe next summer. My buddy and I already booked a room. Obviously, we haven't bought tickets, but we booked a room booked a date for a room for a time that we think the park might be open, Epic Universe specifically. So I'm excited to come back and re-tier this, and maybe I'll go on some of these water rides or whatever. Or my opinions will change, all that stuff. But for now, this is it. Thank you for watching the video. Let me know in the comments below when you think Epic Universe might open, what you're excited for most at Epic Universe. What do you think Universal Florida needs? Your tiers, whatever you want to comment. If you want to tell me that you hate Taylor Swift or whatever, although we would never speak those words in this house, feel free. Yeah, be nice. Have a nice day. See you out there. See you in the next video. Subscribe, like, and share. Comment with your friends, all that good stuff. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.